So we bought the property, and I gotta tell you, it really scared me because we got a notification that the water purveyor wanted to come out and do an inspection because we are on a septic system. Completely understand that. Cross connections could be really, really dangerous. But I've never had to go through a water inspection. It really wasn't that big a deal. What they were looking for really, and they found 2 of them, so we fixed them, is the vacuum breaker on these fill valves has to be above the overflow in the toilet. So this one, as you can see, is fine, but this one runs. So what I'm gonna do is talk to you about it for a minute. And man, there was some shoddy work done here, and well, I'll show you the angle stop in a minute. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and change the fill valve. And it starts with getting the water out of the tank. Now, after they did their water inspection, they were really looking for 2 things. They were looking for cross connections and lead. Now, this house was built in 1984. At least that's what's on record. I don't know when it was actually built. But they used to use lead in the solder, and that's what they were looking for. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and work while we do this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a rag down here under the fill valve, because now that I have the water out and I've got it all out, you can do 2 different things here. You can take a big sponge, you can take rags, you can dip it down in here, or what I've done today is I've brought a wet vac. So I'm gonna get a wet vac in here, get the water out, pull the fill valve. I know it's not gonna get all the water out. That's what I put the rags down for. Let me turn that on real quick. I'll get right back with you. So as you see, that wasn't very hard. Now, this tank wobbles a little bit. So what I did is I kind of tilted it to one side to help get all the water there. But now that I've got that done, I'm gonna reach down and undo the water supply line. We've already turned off the water. I've got rags underneath it. And now I'll pull the line. Now I'm gonna take my little pair of channel locks to loosen up the nut on the bottom of the fill valve. Okay, so this is the old fill valve. Now the reason we're changing it, we had a problem with this handle. We changed it the other day just on a quick walkthrough. And the lady told us, she says, look, I've got a problem with my toilet. It's hard to flush. I've got to leave the lid off and work on it. Well, we found about 3 different things wrong with it. The handle, the fill valve, but also the way that it wobbles. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and change this, but I'm gonna do a couple of other things while I'm here. I'm gonna take my screwdriver and I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up the tank to bowl bolts. Now, they're good stainless bolts. I can see them down there. I'm not gonna have any problem with them, but I wanna snug them up where this doesn't move, and then eventually she leans back one day, puts too much pressure on it, and breaks the tank. Now look at that. It didn't take much at all. Now it's not moving. That's exactly what we were looking for. I'll take my Fluid Master fill valve here. One thing I love about these is they're adjustable. So as you can see, man, this is already set perfect. I really don't have to do anything to it. What that's gonna do, that's gonna keep it up above. Now, you wanna make sure, and you saw me pull it down and push it back up, you wanna make sure your rubber washer is on the right way. It's got the lip down, because that's actually gonna go through that hole down in the porcelain in the tank. This right now, set kind of towards the top, but we're fine. Put this in, line it up right where I want it, and then find my nut and my clip. Now 2 things. I said line this up right where you want it. If you look at this, you've got your adjustment right here on this side, and I love that they've gone to this thumb adjustment. You just grab it, it's got a knob, makes it turn so easy to adjust your water level. But if you've got it turned under here, on some toilets, the handle will hit it. So I always turn it at an angle. I wanna make sure that I can get to the other end where my hose goes, and I can get to this nut to adjust it. So it's lined up really good right there. I'm gonna go ahead and take my nut for the bottom. and I'm good there. I'm gonna take this, put it under the fill valve, and then I'm gonna light it up where my water sprays inside of my overflow. And everything's good there. Now, I can take my channel locks, tighten up my nut a little bit, connect my water supply back up, and then I'll be ready to go. We've got everything good there. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the water back on. Now, one thing I noticed while sitting here, the seat is really loose. So since I've got my screwdriver with me, I'm gonna over tighten it and break it. That way we have to do something different. You wanna pull one off the seat next to it, squirt. So I hate plastic toilet seats. Or the toilet bolt nuts. All right, so what I'm looking for right here, I want the toilet to shut off with this right about 1/2 inch down, maybe a little bit more. So I'm gonna move right there. Now I'm right up at the top of my waterline mark. Still got about a 1/2 inch clearance, but I'm gonna go ahead and flush it and make sure it does everything like it's supposed to do. Yeah, thanks a lot. Randy says, I'm not giving you a screwdriver back, Dad, you're on your own. Okay, so I flushed it. It came right back up where it's supposed to. Flush it one more time. Got a good flush down at the bottom. And this is not using a lot of water. You can see the water level barely drops. But it's enough that, man, I can hear it flushing. I know it's doing what it's supposed to do. And the water level comes right back up to where it's supposed to. Now, we've done 3 things. We've changed the fill valve, we've tightened up the toilet seat, and snugged up the tank where it doesn't rock, doesn't wobble, doesn't do anything. When you buy a property, you're gonna have to come into a whole lot of things. Luckily, this was a pretty easy one. If you liked this video, you're definitely gonna like the next one.